So welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We have an adventure today in Stony Brook, Imagining Whitman there with Andrew Rimby. And my name is Caitlin Shea. I am the Events and Media Director for Walt Whitman Birthplace Association. And if you're not familiar with us just yet, we are a museum located in Huntington, New York. And you can come visit us to see the house that Walt Whitman was born in 202 years ago. We love to have you in person, and we love to have you for our virtual events, just like many of you are doing here today. And we have some people in person with Andrew on the tour. So this is our first hybrid tour, they call it. So we're very excited about that. We're bringing so many people together that way. So we're very happy. And I want to start every single event by saying thank you so much to everyone who's able to donate. It's been a really meaningful experience. It's made all of these events possible. Even something small like $5 that you might spend on a cup of Starbucks coffee actually goes a long way. Since we have so many events, we've been able to raise enough money to keep having more events. So it means multitudes to us. Any amount that you're able to donate, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Andrew briefly. He's been our wonderful tour guide. I believe this is the fourth tour. I'm pretty sure. We've had so many great ones with him. He took us on these tours like on Zoom. It was really a new thing when we started these. Andrew just jumped in and said, I'm going to take a camera with me and we're going to walk around and just see what happens. And we've been very lucky, and mostly the weather has been kind to us. But yeah, Andrew has taken us places we never thought we would go with a camera. So we're so excited for that. All right. Andrew Rimby is a PhD candidate in the English department at Stony Brook University. He researches 19th century American and Victorian literature from a queer transatlantic perspective. He is the 2019 inaugural recipient of the Guiliano Global Fellowship, which allowed him to go to the British Library in July to look at the Lady Essel's Oscar Wilde collection. He is a 2019 to 2020 Public Humanities Fellow and a 2019 Stony Brook Graduate Fellow in the Arts, Humanities, and Lettered Social Sciences. And of course, again, we are so lucky to have Andrew, and he's bringing us these creative ideas. We're imagining Whitman in a place he very likely could have visited 200 or almost 200 years ago. Andrew, hi. There we
Hi.
go.
Oh my goodness, it's been a journey, everyone. I can't even believe I'm in Stony Brook Village. Wait. So what I'm going to do first is take us through the village area, and I'm going to show you the historic post office. We're in Stony Brook right now, and then I'll take us around to the Three Village Inn, which is called the Maribel Tavern, and then we'll go right up to the Long Island Sound, and then that's when I'll give you more history about Whitman and how Stony Brook might have figured. Whitman does mention Stony Brook in letters from a traveling bachelor, but he never came to Stony Brook, or we don't think he did. Also, in this area, Stony Brook wasn't really called Stony Brook in the 1800s. A lot of names changed in this area. I also want to recognize that this was the land of the Setauket Indians. Especially, this was supposed to be during Indigenous Peoples Day. So the Setauket Indians is where we get the name Setauket. So let me just show you the historic post office. Oh, wait, I'll go this way. So I'm gonna try to get that eagle because that's the claim to fame. So that eagle, I don't think it does it anymore, but it used to flap its wings on every hour. But I've heard that they no longer do that because of maybe expenses or the mechanics involved probably. But if you've never been to Stony Brook Village, there's so many cute boutiques you'll see behind me as I'm walking. There's a coffee shop, the florist, the jewelers, a Chico's. So it's a really quaint town. Okay, so bear with me a little. I'm gonna try to get us closer to the Three Village Inn. Okay. I also want to mention the Ward Melville Heritage Association and thank them, and the Long Island Museum, and of course, Caitlin and Cynthia at the birthplace. Oh, here is the historic 1909 firehouse. Let's see. There you go. Usually I have someone with me, so I know my parents are out there. I hope that I have life insurance, Caitlin. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna scare Caitlin. Don't worry, Caitlin, I'm not gonna get hit by a car. Okay.
Please don't, Andrew. I know that.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't laugh about that too. There's something very macabre about that. Oh gosh.
It is almost Halloween, so.
It's true. And I told Caitlin there is some spooky Gothic elements in this village that I'll get to. So stay tuned. It'll happen when we get to the Country House restaurant, which used to be an inn. Okay, good. So I'm getting to the other side of the village. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so this is a really beautifully historic home. It's now called the Jazz Loft. Here, wait, it's gonna get a little loud with traffic, so I'll just show you the exterior. There you go. Okay. It now operates as a, it now operates as a jazz gathering. I think they do certain jazz performances, and you can have food and beverages, maybe alcohol, I'm not sure. Okay. Okay, so let me see the easiest way for me to get to the Three Village Inn.
Andrew, I'm just going to read you a comment from the chat while you're walking.
Sure.
Sheila Fox says, this building used to be the Stony Brook Craft Center in the 1970s through 80s, and perhaps later than that too, where we just were.
Oh, the Jazz Loft area. Okay. Sorry, the wind is picking up. I think we're going to beat the storm though. No storm.
It is a windy day, yes.
I'm telling you, if Whitman came here, I feel like he wants to hide whatever happened in Stony Brook.
You may be right about that.
Or the ghosts of Stony Brook are trying to stop me. I don't know.
Maybe.
But I also think, so Sheila, thank you for that comment. I also remember hearing, I've lived in this area for around 7 years, that it was a Quaker meeting house in the 1800s, I think, which is why up on that road, there's a street called Quaker Path. So the story seems plausible, but as everyone who's joined my walking tours, and Caitlin has heard me say ad nauseum, a lot of these are oral histories. So, right, some things are like Whitman, mythical, like with stories he would create. But let's say, I don't think I'd get that close to the Three Village Inn because there's like a private party and, you know, I don't want to be taken off the grounds. But here, you can kind of see it. And the Three Village Inn is from the Revolutionary period. So very historic. Okay. Got to be careful here. Okay, I'm gonna walk to the water. And then I'll give us some details about, right, what would Whitman's life have been like during the period when he actually was going to Eastern Long Island. Even though he doesn't go to Stony Brook, there's a town 2 towns away, Smithtown. He knew Smithtown very well because, and the Schoolhouse is still there. If you've ever been to, I think it's called the Country Garden Grill or the Garden Grill, there's a home right near the Garden Grill, and that's the Schoolhouse. Actually, I don't think it's a home. I just think it's preserved. So he was a school teacher in the 1840s all through Long Island, and he did spend some time at Smithtown. He also spends a lot of time further east in Greenport, and I'll get to that when we pass the historic Hercules Pavilion. That's a masthead from a boat, but let me show you the sound, because that's why you're all here. See if I can. Ooh, there you go. So it's a really peaceful day. Martha D. Yes, a lot of clouds, Martha. It might rain later. There's also a historic mansion far in the back. I don't know if I can actually zoom in, but if you see it, it's all the way back there. You might see the turret. Okay.
Martha D says, I see clouds, Andrew.
Yeah.
There are quite a bit.
Yeah, I told her I'm just hoping that it doesn't storm on me. It can storm when we're all safe and sound. But there's also, Caitlin, did you have a chance to share with them the brochure?
Oh, no, I didn't get to do that.
Okay, so as Caitlin does that, there's an online version of this. It's called A Sense of Place, Evoking Whitman's Long Island. And it was a project in 2019 for Whitman's 100th birthday that I headed with my dissertation director. Shout out Susan Shekel, Dr. Susan Shekel. And I also want to mention Special Collections Director Kristen Nitry, and also Valentina Pogadina was my undergrad student, and she actually is a graphic designer, so she made the brochure. And my fellow grad colleagues, Nicole Savage and Megan Buckley, helped create these short essays. So definitely peruse it. Oh, Melanie Young also, I'll get to Melanie's essay when we get to the Schoolhouse at the Long Island Museum. She was my undergrad student, and she decided to do an internship and create an essay about Whitman and teaching. So it was truly a collaborative brochure. I could not have done this by myself. So I'll read the beginning though, because I write the opening essay, a brief introduction to Whitman's Long Island. Here, wait, let's see if I can hold my script.
I'm going to show it while you're talking about it.
Wonderful. Okay. Good. So today you will be asked to see Eastern Long Island through Walt Whitman's eyes. Before exploring the quaintness and tranquility of Stony Brook Village, allow yourself to be transported back to the 19th century, when Whitman traveled throughout Long Island both as a boy and as an adult. Here is how Whitman captured his feelings about the island where he was born. And then this is a quote from Whitman's Pomonok poem. And I'll talk a little more about that when I'm in a like quiet, quaint area. Sea beauty stretched and basking, one side thy inland ocean laving, broad with copious commerce, steamers, sails, and one the Atlantic's wind caressing, fierce or gentle. Mighty holes, dark gliding in the distance, isle of sweet brooks of drinking water, healthy air and soil, isle of the salty shore and breeze and brine. Okay, so that is written in 1888. And if everyone out there knows your Whitman history, when does Whitman die? Audience participation. Let's see. I know someone out there knows. When does Whitman die?
1892. Sorry, I was muted. 1892.
No, you're fine. Thank you so much. Yes, so you would think that Whitman would have written more Long Island poems early in his life. When he's starting to get published in the 1840s, his poems first get published in New York City journals, right? Leaves of Grass, not published till 1855, but he's writing his letters from a traveling bachelor, which gets put out into newspapers. I think specifically the Brooklyn Daily Eagle. So it's not until he's in Camden, New Jersey, that he writes the majority, the heft, you would say, of the Long Island poems. Pomonok, one that'll come back to me. I know I reference it later. Starting from Pomonok is the other one. And Pomonok is an Algonquin term, a term meaning to the Algonquin tribe specifically. Fish, not fish-shaped, land of tributes. So Whitman takes that idea of land of tributes and he kind of stretches it and actually starts to refer to Long Island as Pomonok. So he adopts, or you could say appropriates, the Native American term. And then he actually says that it's fish-shaped. Pomonok then becomes more referenced as fish-shaped Long Island. Because, right, cartography, Whitman would have known that Long Island looks like a fish. But
Yeah,
not necessarily so. What?
The actual word was fish shape and not fish shaped. Sorry, but starting from fish shaped Pomonok, where I was born, that's the first line. Anyway, but it's fish shape.
Okay, thank you.
I know that, but fish shape for me is a phallic symbol, and it's poking into the sea, which is a female symbol. So what do you think that is?
Wait, sorry?
Andrew, that's John Davidson, who's joining us from Paris. He's a big fan. But you know what, John, let's just keep our questions.
Sorry, John, I'm getting distracted.
I know, yeah, we'll keep the questions till the end, Andrew. No worries.
Yeah, and also I was saying the name of the poem is starting from Pomonok.
Right.
But yes, the line is starting from fish-shaped Pomonok. You are correct. Okay, so.
Oh, sorry, Andrew, just really quick. Do you want me to show anything in particular in the brochure right now?
Yeah, if you can like do a close-up on the first page of Childe Hassam's etching of the birthplace. Yeah, all the way on the left.
On the left.
At the top. Yep,
Yeah.
there it is. And then if you zoom in on that, we'll also be able to zoom in on the Long Island map.
All right, just give me one moment. We're getting there. Okay, whoa. Okay, there we go. It's a little blurry here, but it was part of our advertising, so everyone definitely saw that. But yeah.
So, and I'll start walking a little to the pavilion. But what I like about this Childe Hassam illustration is it really shows you what Whitman's childhood home, one of the best versions of what his childhood home would have looked like, with the apple orchards, which are very, very important to Whitman. If you've ever read Specimen Days, Whitman's only autobiography, he does have Horace Traubel, his biographer. I don't know if anyone has poured through the volumes, and there are many of with Walt Whitman in Camden, but Whitman isn't writing it. Horace Traubel is transcribing Whitman's thoughts, and Horace Traubel brings with Walt Whitman in Camden as a biography in journal entries. So it'll say, for example, and I'm just making these dates up, but like October 15th, Whitman came down from his bedroom and said, da 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 da. So it's that type of process. But Specimen Days, Whitman actually charts his childhood up to his adulthood and does more of this chronological autobiography. Okay, it's gonna get a little windy, so I'm gonna hold off on saying anything.
You know, Andrew, I found another, like the copy of the etching. So I'm just going
Oh,
to
good. Yeah, definitely. Feel free to show it, Caitlin.
Yes, a bigger version so we can all see it. There we go. Okay. That's the birthplace there.
Oh, are you here for the tour? Oh, I found a tour person. Okay, that's great. Show the illustration, please, Caitlin.
Okay.
Hi, what's your name? Hi, Anne.
Nice
Here.
to meet you, Andrew.
Let me give you a brochure. We had quite the adventure, right?
I know. But
When we were stuck, I'm like, we're gonna do it.
Okay, great. So I was like,
It's fine. I only showed the first part, so we're gonna go to the pavilion right now. Great, great. Okay.
this is my husband, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
And
Let me.
my mom is just going to the bathroom with my sister.
Oh, wonder. Oh, okay. That's who I saw passing.
Oh,
Okay.
you passed them.
Yes, here it goes. Thank you very much. Okay. And I'll just keep socially distanced. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay.
We've been vaccinated.
Okay. Yep. I'm good too. Yeah, whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna show now the Hercules Pavilion. So we do have a Zoom group.
Oh,
So it's our first hybrid experiment,
Okay.
which is exciting. Did you have to go to the art museum too?
no.
Oh, you got through.
Right.
Ah, okay.
No, we won't bore you with
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was interesting. We're bonding over this experience. Okay, but this is the Hercules Pavilion. And I was gonna say, can you hear me from here, Caitlin?
Yes, you sound great, Andrew.
Great. You know what? Actually, if I come closer, there'll be more acoustics. So this is actually a figurehead from the ship, the USS Ohio. So the ship was actually built in Brooklyn at the Navy Yard. But what I find fascinating with Whitman's life is the ship was dismantled at Greenport. And that's actually where Whitman's sister, Mary, was living, because her husband was a shipbuilder in Greenport. So I have that in actually, let me see. If we go towards, yep, the second page, it says, Walt's sister Mary married Ansel Van Nostrand, a shipbuilder, and they purchased a Cape home in Greenport. And Whitman visited them a lot when he was writing Leaves of Grass, and would write a lot at the Old Orient Inn in Orient Point. And during this time, Leaves of Grass comes out in 1855, but he's actually working on it from around 1851 to 1855. And before he writes Leaves of Grass in 1849, he writes what's called the Letters from the Traveling Bachelor. And this is where he actually details every new train line. Here, right, and you can all see my face now. He details every train line that has been opened. So Hicksville, Farmingdale, Jericho, Cold Spring Harbor, and Greenport. So he would take the train to Greenport, but sometimes he actually said he would stop at his home in West Hills, his childhood home, because his grandparents still lived in West Hills, but the home had been sold off, the birthplace home. The one in across the mall. Yep. But his ancestors lived in, there's a home called the Nathaniel Whitman home. There's the Peace and Plenty Inn all the way up on the hill. So that would have been where he would have been traveling. And he actually said that he would walk like for half the day to get east to Greenport. And then he would stop in a town and sleep in an inn, and then he would start again. And he said he would walk from Huntington to Greenport. But, you know, I was saying Whitman had some tall tales, so it sounds very dramatic. But yeah, so the Hercules Pavilion is really interesting. I, you know, just really like the detail. I'll show you all again of, right, the myth, the legend Hercules, known for, do you know what he does with the lion? Oh, no, but he battles the lion. So, yeah, we get a very interesting masthead. And right, mastheads, interestingly, most of them were not Greek figures, and most of them were actually women usually, and specifically mermaids, which is why you have the Starbucks logo for coffee, and that character Starbuck comes from Moby Dick. So yeah, some Starbucks history. Okay, so we're gonna head now to, well, let's wait for your group. Yeah. No problem. Okay. Great, we have more people joining. They found us. See, it all works out.
So glad, Andrew. Yes, I've been texting them over here in the corner.
Oh, good.
Andrew, would you like me to share the Long Island map?
Oh, can you? That would be wonderful.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
And I'm going to extend till 12:45 just because we didn't start until 11:25.
Yes.
No, I mean, it all worked out. Yeah. And I was going to say, if you want to, when we get to this next area by the Grist Mill, like, if you want to walk with me to the museum, you can. But if you want to drive and park in the museum's parking lot, that might be easier if you don't want to have to do the whole trek. Just, it's up to you. When we get there, I'll give you the time. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that would make sense. Okay, so Caitlin's showing everyone, we have this image of the Long Island Museum, the Long Island map. And it's from 1857. So I'll talk a little about the map, Caitlin. Thanks for bringing it up. Okay. There you go. Got 2 more goers. Here you go. Here. So for sure. Thanks for finding me. Okay, so we're gonna make our way over towards the Grist Mill. Okay. But yeah, the village is coming back to life now. It was on a pause. Okay, we're just gonna have like a little brief intermission as we walk, okay, Caitlin? But I want everyone on the Zoom, just like really look at the map, because this is exactly what Whitman's basing his reference point of the fish-shaped nature of Long Island. Because the map was done by J.H. Colton and Company, and it was the main traveling map for Long Island in the 1850s. I like this hybrid effect. It's like so many people with the hybrid. I was doing a lot of, I had done 3 during the pandemic that were virtual. So
Same
Yeah.
tour or?
No, oh yeah, and this is good for everyone. And Anne, right? Okay, I'm joined with Anne here. There's a person. No, so I think we're gonna be doing more of these hybrid events. I mean, I want to, Caitlin. I think it's gonna work out.
I do too, Andrew. Yes, this is the wave of the future, but you're the right person to start experimenting with for sure. We appreciate it.
Wait, we got some breeze. I'm telling you, Whitman is like sending signs today. We will not be deterred. I was joking that it's like Whitman doesn't want me to tell the history of this area. But yeah, so I had done a Roslyn Village tour. That was my recent one in June, where I went through to Cedarmere, to the William Cullen Bryan house.
I don't know.
Okay, so he was an American poet around Whitman's time. And everyone out there, I had those YouTube videos and I think Caitlin linked them. So I'll share that with you, Ann. And so you can actually see Thomas, a tour guide at Cedarmere. He actually showed us the interior of the house. So it's very well done with just seeing every room.
Is it open to the public or no?
You have to make reservations. Yeah. Oh, and actually, and this goes for you and your family and everyone out there, next Sunday. And I think, Caitlin, do you have everyone who registered as an email list?
Yes, I do.
Wonderful. Okay. So I'm gonna check Roslyn next Sunday and make sure there's no race, just because, you know. And it's funny, Caitlin. I don't think you know this, but when my parents were here last weekend, we went to Huntington on Saturday after the birthplace, and there was a huge farmers market, and we also got caught in this traffic jam.
Ah, okay.
Oh boy.
Hello.
Yeah, I feel like there's a Saturdays in October on Long Island are where everything has to happen of an event. What's good though is I'm doing a tour. So next Sunday, it's not, you know, well, the birthplace, you were the ones who launched my Roslyn Village tour, so I'm grateful. I'm actually bringing some of my students from my Whitman's Multitudes course to meet at Cedarmere. We're gonna just go right towards the mill. Yeah. And then, yeah, no rush. Oh, we can see some swans. I love this area. Have you been to Avalon Park before? Oh, okay. Are you coming from the area? Or? Oh, not far. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's so beautiful there.
It's a historic place in its own right, the Nicholas Desmond.
Yes, yes. And Miller Place has some really nice history. Yeah, I love that area. Oh, thank you so much. So this mill really reminds me of the Hocus Pocus opening with, have you ever seen Hocus Pocus? Okay, there's like the witches meeting in the mill. Here, I'll show everyone on the screen. This is where I'm like, please phone. Make sure it stays. But yeah, it is. It's a beautiful tour too. They give tours here, and I've done it with my mom and my grandma. Right, Mom? How old was my mom? I think is on the Zoom. How old was Grammy when she did this tour? Do you remember?
I think that Grammy was about 91 years old.
91.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the only reason I say that is because there is like, yeah, and there's a steep section, so that's why they're able to accommodate that.
Yeah, we took our time.
Yep.
But she enjoyed it. I enjoyed it too. So yeah, I just said that. It reminds me of Grammy. Yep, being there. Yep.
Well, the Grist Mill is from 1751, so we have a pre-revolutionary mill. Oh, okay, here. It's open Sundays from 1 to 4:30. So I will plug the Grist Mill because it's operated by the Ward Melville Association, which runs all of the Stony Brook Village attractions, except the Long Island Museum. But yeah, and back here is Avalon Park. And I'm gonna try not to get someone's license plate. But Avalon Park goes far back, and it actually has a labyrinth trail if you go all the way through. And then that's Head of the Harbor up there. And what's really cool about Head of the Harbor is there's a winery called Harmony Vineyards. And I've been there, and that's a really pretty historic house from the late 1700s, I want to say. Yeah, so beautiful. Okay. Okay, so we're at the mill. Oh, and what I wanted to say about Sunday, next Sunday, the 24th, I have a class of about 16, but only 3 of them can make it. It's an extra credit opportunity, and they have to get there on their own. So anyone who wants to can email me, right? And Caitlin, if they email you, just forward it to me, please. Thomas, the tour guide at Cedarmere, will bring everyone into the house. It's at 1 o'clock. So we're meeting in the parking lot at Cedarmere at 12:50-ish. And he's gonna take us through Cedarmere. I'm gonna give like a very brief tour of William Cullen Bryant and Walt Whitman, their relationship and history. So it's kind of a very abridged of what I did with the birthplace. And then we're gonna drive up to the Long Island Museum, not museum, the Nassau County Museum of Art, and go through the sculpture gardens. And then if you want, you can see the exhibit, which is a turn of the century Paris exhibit with the, I always say Belle Epoque, but the turn of the century period in Paris. I know someone here is zooming from Paris, so could say the pronunciation better. But it's this Gilded Age exhibit of Paris. And I'm teaching, I just did the House of Mirth, and now I'm doing the Great Gatsby. So I'm going to show everyone the old Gilded Age and the new Gilded Age and the Roaring 20s history. So yeah, andrew.rimby@stonybrook.edu. Caitlin, can you put that in the chat for me?
Yes, definitely. I'll do it right
Okay,
now.
great. So next Sunday, 1 o'clock. Okay, we're gonna make our way across. Okay, and then we'll just make our way back up. Yeah, I think they might. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, well, here is a historic plaque, the site of the Stony Brook Grist Mill, built in actually 1699 by Adam Smith. Adam Smith. Okay, just sounds such a Protestant. Maybe even Puritan. I don't know. I'd have to look up who this Adam Smith is. But yeah, it's so beautiful here. We'll just be careful. Okay. There were swans. Oh, wait. Everyone needs to see the swans. I don't know if you can see the swans, everyone. Now it's a beautiful day. Okay. But a lot of geese. This is well known for feeding the geese in this area. But like I said, all the way back there is hiking trails. So you could just keep going and going to, it connects to Head of the Harbor and the winery I was talking about. So yeah, it's a beautiful area to spend the afternoon.
So how far is that area?
Oh, I would say, I think this actually goes, if you wrapped it around, 3 miles. So like, I think the winery is, if you go all the way up, 1.5 miles, maybe? Yeah. But yeah, and the winery again, I don't get paid by the winery. Maybe I should. But Harmony Vineyards has a beautiful area to sit out, and they have like fruit and cheese, and it's a historic house from the 1700s. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna make our way back to the 25A. Oh, don't apologize. No. No, go ahead, you first. So 25A, also known as the Culpr Spyrang Trail. And again, the word Melville Association, a lot of the tours they do here is about the Culpr Spyrang because, and I'm not an expert on the Culpr Spyrang. I study mostly 19th century literature. So that would be before my time, period. But what I know is there's the show on AMC called Turn, and that talks about the Culpr Spyrang. But the Culpr Spyrang was basically run by Samuel Townsend, who was one participant. And this area was actually the Loyalist area. So this was, here, I'll just stop right here. That's good, yeah. But this area was British Loyalists. And I think everything east of here was British Loyalists. So I have some coming from Shoreham. That was definitely Loyalist. And those who were actually for the Patriot side here were undercover. So the Culpr Spyrang was all on 25A. They would be sending decoded messages. So Oyster Bay is a big one. There's a museum called Raynham Hall, and I really need to go there. But that was like a big site for the Culpr Spyrang. And then they would eventually go into the city. They would take a boat across Connecticut, the Long Island Sound. So yeah, that's the Culpr Spyrang. Like I said, I don't know all the participants' names, but I know there's a folklore story that a woman would like hang a sheet, and if it like was a certain color, it meant a certain message. But then I've heard that that's actually not true. But like I said, all of these are fantastical stories. So history is always in an invented stage, in my opinion. It depends on who's telling the history. Okay, so wait, there's a truck. Oh. Okay, so yeah. I'm just gonna make my way to the museum, Caitlin. So just give me like a minute. Do you want to walk to your car and drive to the museum?
Can you walk to the museum, or do you want to go back?
That would be great. Yeah, and we'll meet you at the museum. Wonderful. Okay, good. Yeah, we'll be there in like 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, great. Okay. So you're gonna wait here for the car? Oh, great. Okay. Good. Yeah. I was gonna say, Caitlin, I can take some questions now because this is the long stretch to the museum.
Okay, well, one comment we have in the chat, Andrew, is from David Rimby, your dad.
My dad, okay.
Saying there's a Discovery Wetlands boat cruise near that area in Stony Brook Village. I believe it's near the Hercules.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it's actually where I was showing the sound.
Mhm.
Thanks, Dad, for mentioning it. The Discovery Cruise is this really pretty Long Island Sound tour cruise. And it's on a boat, and you actually, if I want to be very, very technical, my friend actually was an environmental conservationist in this area. So this is actually not the Long Island Sound. I actually think it is a marsh. And then a specific section of it would be the bay. But right, the bays lead to the sound. in this area. So like the Long Island Sound, technically the Discovery Cruise does take you all the way to West Meadow, and West Meadow is a beach. That's the Long Island Sound. So it is. It's a really, like I said, you could bring a whole family here. Long Island Museum, Harmony Vineyards, the Discovery Cruise. It's, you know, it's a full day affair. Okay. Oh yeah, watch out.
Does anyone else want to unmute for a second and ask any questions? We welcome that too. Not yet. Oh, you know what, Andrew? Actually, someone was asking about a link to the brochure, so we want to make sure we get that to them too. It's on the website, right? The brochure.
I think it's on the website. I think I sent you a link, Caitlin.
A link. Okay, I'll look for it, and we'll
Okay.
get it together after this. We'll make it work.
No
but
problem.
yes.
Yeah, but definitely. The next section of the brochure is going to be about Whitman attending seances. So that's the Gothic nature. But even there's this revolutionary home behind us. It feels very Salem. I don't know if anyone's been to Salem, but I always feel like I'm almost in Salem, except Salem's a little more compact. Only 30 minutes from Boston because I took the train right before the pandemic. That was my last conference. Yeah. And I'm like, I need to see Salem. Oh, such a beautiful city though, or town. But yeah, a lot of the homes here, late 1700s, early 1800s. I think they do ghost tours here probably. Caitlin, do you want to poll the Zoom audience and see how many of them have been to Stony Brook Village? I'd be curious.
Yes, please comment in the chat if you've been to Stony Brook Village in the past. Like to
Thank
hear
you.
about that. Cheryl says that she grew up there.
Oh, wonderful. Hi, Cheryl.
Are you still there, Cheryl? Are you still in Stony Brook, or are you? Yes.
Oh, she is. Oh, great.
Your parents say yes last week.
Wow.
That
Okay,
is-
yes, I knew that. Thank you, Mom and Dad.
Michelle Mason says, yes, it's beautiful. And thank you, Andrew.
Oh, well, thank you all. Thanks to the in-person and to the Zoom. It's great. It all worked out. You know, my motto is everything happens for a reason. So we were being tested and we accomplished the test. So that's it. Oh,
Do you want
I
to
just love these.
talk more about the seances, Andrew, maybe?
Yes, we're actually almost at the house.
Oh, okay. It's related to that. Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's a
Oh,
beautiful
We do have a question, Andrew. I'm going to
home here.
read it to you quick. Sheila Fox says, if Walt had visited Stony Brook Village in his time, what specifically do you think he would do there? Would he visit the local tavern? Would he buy provisions from a local farmer? Would he look for special hiking trails, etc.?
Great question. This is also why I don't think Whitman went to Stony Brook Village. Or if he did, it was just through the carriage, like on a carriage ride east, or would have passed by a train line. The Stony Brook train is actually very old. I don't know if anyone's ever been. I've taken the Stony Brook train because I live in Port Jeff Village, so I'm very close. Actually, we'll stop. Let's see. There's a lot of traffic, but you know what? Yeah. Okay, we're gonna just take a crosswalk. Oh, great. Okay, and then I can show you the country house, and then we can get into the seance. I know everyone wants to hear about seances. I do too. Let's just say, push my crosswalk. But this area was for, okay, so Port Jeff Village in the 1800s was for shipbuilding. Stony Brook Village was for the ships to dock and bring the goods. So like they would be bringing goods from the city and etc. So like the farmers would bring their goods to the city and this was a landing spot. Oh, we're good. And that was great because Port Jeff was building ships and Stony Brook was landing the commercial ships. But would Whitman really have wanted to be interested in the commercial ships? No, because he was living in Brooklyn mostly. This was very, very rural. Right. I just try to imagine with no cars, we would have these homes, but these were all farmers. Hey, wait, let me see. Can you hear me, Caitlin?
Yes, Andrew, we can.
Good, good, okay. And the grist mill was here, but it was a very quaint town. I would definitely say Huntington was definitely more bustling, which is why Whitman founded the Long Islander in Huntington, because there was actually a lot more commerce going on. Also, I would even say Roslyn Village was more bustling because of the art colony, right? William Cullen Bryant's there. Eventually, Francis Hodgson Burnett, who writes The Secret Garden, lives there. And it has more of an art perspective. But yeah, I have a group joining me for Shoreham, and I think Shoreham has the same history. Very rural, right? Farm-like. It wouldn't have been a place to tour. Like there wasn't a lot of cosmopolitan gathering. But yeah, there was a tavern, and there's a tavern here for the local community. And that would have been the Three Village Inn. That was the tavern. Okay, so does everyone see that house right in front of us? So that, I'm going to turn to the seance section. Walt Whitman in 19th century spiritualism. So specifically, the Country House restaurant, and that's what we're looking at. This is a restaurant now, but it was during Whitman's time owned by the English actor Thomas Hathaway. And Hathaway held seances with a small group of friends, and they called themselves the Miracle Circle. William Sidney Mount, like Margaret Garardi, hi Margaret, is an amazing historian at the birthplace. Also, she's cataloging a library. I'll end on that because I have some exciting news about myself because now I'm a librarian for a Whitman library, but I'll hold that off. Whitman was very interested in the idea of spiritualism. He was not convinced by seances, unlike William Sidney Mount, who really enjoyed them here. And apparently the Country House, when we ate here, there is a woman who haunts it, right? Named Annette Williamson, who was killed during the American Revolution. So if you eat here, maybe you'll see the spirit of Annette Williamson. I always love these ghost stories. And as the Country House says on their website, be ready to commune with the other side. So that's a good press release. Okay, we're gonna make our way up to the Long Island Museum. Have you been to the Long Island Museum?
Not in years.
Okay, so, there's the wind. So right now, last week I got to see the exhibit and it's so beautiful. There is a Tiffany glass exhibit in the art museum. And down here, there's a glass blowing exhibit. So Joshua Ruff, the director, curator, here we go. We're gonna have to make a little detour. We're walking through the grass, but The museum is open Thursday through Sunday from 12 to 5. And Josh, the director, has been really good at collaborating with us. So I definitely want to plug the exhibit space. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we just have to make our way up the hill, and then we'll be at the historic schoolhouse. Yeah. Very good.
Do you want me to read another comment, Andrew? How's your time there?
Oh, sure, that's fine.
Okay. Margaret Guardi, who is our wonderful historian here at the birthplace, said there is no record so far of Walt meeting W.S. Mount or having Stony Brook as a travel destination. At first, I thought Walt may have passed through there at some time, possibly on the railroad on a trip to Boston. Then I found out that Stony Brook was only a branch line that Walt would have bypassed. Its station was built in 1873.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I said thank you, Margaret. And I think Margaret and I are on the same page, which is he would have known about Stony Brook because he was teaching at Smithtown. So that's like, I don't see him mentioning anything about Port Jefferson, but I also don't know if Port Jefferson was named Port Jefferson in the 1840s and 50s and 60s, because there's a whole history of these areas changing their names. Like this could have just been Setauket. I'm not sure. I don't know. If there's someone who knows that Long Island history, it would be great. I'm sure the Ward Melville Association has to know that, and so does Josh Ruff here at the Long Island Museum. But first, if you've never been to the Long Island Museum, and I'm just gonna wait up for the tour, so I'll take a little shot. This is one of the most beautiful, I think, areas of the museum. It is the Carriage House, and there's 2 floors, and it includes carriages from the 1700s, 1800s, and 1900s.
Oh.
So you can actually see carriages from formal carriages. There's a omnibus carriage. There is marketing carriages. I think there's a carriage with popcorn on it. There is what Edith Wharton would have done in her old society in Manhattan, a type of carriage like that. It's so great. I love this section. Up on this hill is the Art Museum. That's where the Louis Comfort Tiffany exhibit is right now. And there's about more than 30 Tiffany glass pieces on display. So a lot of reading lamps up there. Yeah. And like I said, the museum's open till 5. So it's a wonderful, I love it. Because down there is a modern glass blowing exhibit with like how they do glass blowing now compared to what they were doing with Tiffany Studios, right? And Louis Comfort Tiffany not only did the glass, but Tiffany Jewelers, the same family. Again, they also had an estate in Oyster Bay near Sagamore Hill, where Teddy Roosevelt's place is. So I was so happy. All of this is very Gilded Age. It's like October is the Gilded Age month. Okay, so we're gonna make our way to the schoolhouse. And why I love the Stony Brook Village tour is everything is preserved. And it's very rare to actually find a schoolroom from the 1800s, but it exists. Oh, this is something new I've never even read about. But apparently the horse fountain is from the city of New York from 1880. It was at Madison Avenue and 23rd Street. Oh my, that's so funny because that's only a block away from where Edith Wharton's townhome was in Manhattan. So here's the horse fountain. And I actually wonder if horses would have been drinking from that. I don't know.
You have the right height.
Yeah,
Maybe coincidental.
maybe coincidental. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so we're gonna walk into the schoolroom. They know we're here, so it's okay. No, we're not breaking and entering. You know, okay. So, you know what? No, put my mask on because we're getting like. So I'm just putting my mask on, Caitlin. It's a very
No worries, Andrew. Good.
okay. So the schoolhouse here was called the Nessaquag, actually, sorry, Nessaquag Schoolhouse in South Setauket at the intersection of Pond Path and Sheep Pasture Road. So very, very close to the Warren Melville High School. 3 miles away, Nessaquag was the Native American name for the swampy land. Maybe this area was actually called Nessaquag. I'll have to look into that. Okay, so there's the children from 1895. I feel like all of the school children in the 1800s look the same. They look very saddened, but they didn't smile a lot in their photos. But this is what it would have been like for Whitman to teach in the 1840s. You have your table of vocals for pronunciation. This says, he who can spell downs the whole school. So chalkboard, arithmetic. They bring a lot of field trips here, and the children will sit here and act like they're in school, which is wonderful. There's even, a stove. So. And Whitman did not like teaching indoors. I always explain it as Whitman, and if you want to see, there's a Walt Whitman in teaching section. That was done by my undergrad student who was doing an internship with me, which was wonderful. So I'll read a little of it because to give us the breath. I think we can go another, oh good, 10 minutes. How's that, Caitlin?
Great, Andrew, great.
Okay. So Walt Whitman began teaching in 1836 at 17. Remember, Whitman doesn't even go to high school. He leaves during middle school to help on the farm. I'm sorry, not to help on the farm. What am I saying? That's like a lot of narratives, but no. Margaret's saying, no, Andrew, he was helping his father with home building in Brooklyn. So that's what he was doing. But he did actually teach in Babylon, Smithtown, Whitestone, West Hempstead, Woodbury, Dix Hills, Southold. Southold is, pretty far out, but it makes sense because he must have been living with his sister Mary in Greenport. So yeah, I was gonna say, sit down, definitely. Feel free to sit down. And he really did not like formal teaching. He's what we would call now a Montessori educator. He wanted everyone to be outside. He wanted immersive learning. He wanted field trips, and he would love the walking tour. He did not like thinking that you had to learn in a confined classroom space. And neither do I, which is why I'm really interested in this type of learning. And I always tell my students, we learn so much outside of the classroom space. The classroom is just a place for us to put our heads together and then go back out. But, everyone has a different philosophy, which, keeps the world going round with teaching. So, okay, we're gonna make our way out of here. I have to say, if I had to stay here for hours, I probably would not feel very passionate. But, it's just really exciting to have a room like this at the Long Island Museum. So the grounds are actually open to the public. When the museum's open, you can come here. There's beautiful places to read, have a picnic. Oh, of course I have to show you the outhouse because it wouldn't be a schoolroom without an outhouse. So here you go. Yeah, and the outhouse must not have been fun in the winter time. And Whitman was very used to an outhouse. His family was with their farming life, but I don't know. Does anyone know out there if Whitman actually used an outhouse in his Brooklyn homes? I'm assuming not, but you know what they say about assuming. But yeah, there's the outhouse. Has anyone here had to use an outhouse? Ah, okay. Those who are with me have had to use an outhouse. I've used a porta potty, so that's a little close. Yeah. More sanitary. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Andrew, I just want to read you something really quick. Cheryl is saying that there are 2 different doors to the schoolhouse because boys and girls entered from different doors.
Ah,
Wow.
thank you, Cheryl. Here. Wait, sorry, what were you asking?
I was asking about, I don't know if it's macrame on the trees, and I read a little bit about it.
Oh, yes. That's their project of creating these conservation, like a knitting. I don't know. I think it's a certain group in Stony Brook who's going around and they're, yeah, macrame, as you say. They're creating all of this art on the tree trunks. Yeah, I'll show everyone out there what that looks like. It is beautiful. But yeah, there's the 2 doors. Okay, so we're gonna actually we can go up there and we'll end at the barn. But yeah, I'm sorry, what is your name again? Nancy. Okay, Nancy was pointing out, does everyone see this beautiful, she said macrame design? And it actually goes all the way up on the tree. Yeah. It is so beautiful. I actually think they have a piece about it. Let's see. It is so beautiful. Caitlin, you would be in love with this.
I am. You know me
Well,
well.
everyone out there, Caitlin has made amazing murals and still is. I need to see your murals, Caitlin and Petra. Okay.
Yes.
So here
we'll
it is.
there.
The Crocheted Tree Project. Here we go. Yeah. It's a community-based public art project. Okay. Wow. Oh, it began in 2015. Wow.
It was really cool, Andrew, because we could only see the bottom, and then when you got closer, we could see in detail. It goes all the way up, like you say. It's amazing.
Yeah. No, it really is. And like you see, here's the art museum. So there's the Tiffany exhibit. As you can see, any of you who are near here, you have till 5, and you pretty much, it seems like, will have the space to yourself. So come down, come on down. But there is, I have to show, a historic grave site. Let's see. Yeah, it's from the farm family who lived here. I think it tells us the Smith family. Okay, so it has to be, it's the Smith family from the Grist Mill. Okay, it's all coming together now. So it says here, it's the Smith Broodyard Burial Ground, and it was part of the John Smith family homestead, allotted in 1704. The Stony Brook Hotel then occupied it. Most of the gravestones are before the Civil War. Oh yeah. And we know because we can't read almost any of the gravestones. But yeah. Yeah, I can see 18. Wait, everyone see here, there's like gravestones that are buried. Wow. And you know, in this time, because of the weather, it was so popular to picnic at a gravesite or bring a book. I used to love there's a really pretty cemetery. If anyone's ever in Port Jeff Village, it's tricky to get to, but I live near it. You go, okay, this is for all of you out there too. Okay, you're on 25A. You pass the CVS in Port Jeff Village. Make that right as if you're going to the high school and middle school, but turn your first left and you're gonna go up a huge hill. There is a cemetery up there. And it is really pretty to drive around. And it was also very popular for picnicking because you would have seen the whole harbor. It's very scenic. And exactly. Yes, yes. And also, anyone who lives near Roslyn, that cemetery, my parents and I went there to see the Bryant. I think it was a tombstone mausoleum-ish. That's really pretty. And that's off of Northern Boulevard. Yeah. But a lot of these places I feel on Long Island, you have to really know where it is or else you're going to miss it. All right, so we're going to end at the barn. And then I think we're going to make our ways. You know, I'll walk back with those in person here. But again, Caitlin, were you able to find the brochure?
I don't have it yet, Andrew, but I'm going to email it to everyone after this.
Great.
Anything
Okay.
else you want to share and your email address in case they want questions or comments for you.
Wonderful. And also, if they want to come next Sunday to Roslyn, they can email me. Please email me and I'll give you details. It's free, except for if you want to go to the NASA Art Museum. And again, all of these places we go to, beautiful walking trails you would not know about. The NASA Art Museum has all of these walking trails and you can oversee Hempstead Harbor. So, okay, we have a really historic barn behind me. Actually stable, should be more specific, especially because I have farming in my background. And then this is actually a blacksmith shop, replica of a blacksmith shop. But yeah, I can see how this is wonderful for field trips for children. You learn so much here. But yeah, when you go in the carriage house, there's actually a simulation as if you're in the 1800s of Stony Brook Village, and you can hear the sound of the train, and there's like a train cut out. There's the post office. Yeah, it's a really beautifully done museum. But yeah, there's a blacksmith shop. Oh, can you read that from Martha Deed, Caitlin?
Yes. Martha Deed says, my second great grandfather, George Hull Shepherd, taught in Huntington in 1835, and I was under the impression Whitman was teaching in that area at the same time. But I'm vague about the source of that off the top of my head, so I'll check. Our historian would love to know more about that, I'm sure. So please, Martha, that's amazing. We've had you with us so many times, and there's all this connection too we didn't even know about.
Well, Martha, thank you too. Martha sent me her book on Long Island, and it's so wonderful. So Martha, feel free to plug that in the chat, please. It was so kind to send it to me. And yeah, Martha has history from the 1800s of farming in her background. And I do know, I saw Margaret said, we don't really know about Dix Hills. Yeah, Margaret's right. Some of the schooling situations are vague of whether he was there or not, but I can tell you, he was paid when he was at Smithtown. And like I told you, the Smithtown School is still there. Next to the Smithtown Library and the Garden Grill. And there's another beautiful cemetery across from that. He was paid $72.20 for 5.5 months of work. It would have been as if he got $2,200 today for 5 months of teaching. Yeah, pretty low. Actually, it's like he was making adjunct wages at a college. So I guess we could say Whitman was an adjunct before adjuncts existed. Okay, so that's it. I thank you all. Thanks to the in-person attendees. You're welcome. Thank you to all of you on Zoom. Whew, we made it work. It went really well. It was great. A good
It
hybrid
did.
event.
Yes, Andrew, our first hybrid event. Your bravery never ceases to amaze me. Seriously, it's a wonderful what we're able to accomplish because you're willing to jump in there and see what works with our camera and Zoom, and it's now becoming hybrid. So thank you so, so much, Andrew. I would like if everyone could unmute for just a moment, and we'll give a big, big round of applause for Andrew Rimby.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And thanks, Caitlin. Yeah, they said thank you.
Thank you to them too.
Thank
They're
you.
part of the
Thank you.
hybrid. They made it a hybrid. So thank you to them.
Yay, it became hybrid. Oh, there's my mom. Hello. Yeah, so it's good. That race was not going to stop us.
No,
Yeah,
nothing
so-
good of us.
So yeah, again, I'll just plug. Email me if you have questions. I know Caitlin and I will figure out how she'll find that brochure. I'll make sure that I forward it again to you, Caitlin. And you all will get the online brochure. And then, yeah, if you want to come and do an in-person tour, I'm just volunteering my time with my students, but I have more spots. I'm not gonna like blast it everywhere because I feel like I could get a huge group, and I don't want to scare Cedarmere or the NASA Art Museum. But email me, andrew.rimby@stonybrook.edu. Let me know you're coming next Sunday, and I'll let you know where we're meeting. If you live near Roslyn, it's great. If you don't, if you live an hour away, it's wonderful. We'll be there for about 4 hours, and I'm gonna have my students and I read some passages from the House of Mirth and the Great Gatsby. So it'll be very different than this farming aspect. You know, we're gonna be in the high society atmosphere, but you know, Whitman was high society in his naturalistic way. Okay, so thank you all. I think I'm good. I'm good to zoom out of here, Caitlin.
You are great to do. Thank
Okay.
you so much, Andrew. Get that
Okay.
safely. It's sunny, so I'm hopeful it'll be a safe
Okay.
journey.
Bye, everyone. And I'm about to do, oh, I should plug this too. I just became the librarian of the Walt Whitman Initiative Library, which is now being housed at the South Street Seaport. So hopefully, crossing my fingers, that means that the Birthplace and the Initiative Libraries, there might be some interesting, exciting collaborations soon. You know, eventually I'll be able to actually accept appointments for you to see the library at the South Street Seaport. So just waltwhitmaninitiative.com, check that out. And I'm about to do an interview in an hour for my podcast that I'm the director of. And we're going to talk about Anne Sexton and Sylvia Plath. So I'm really, you know, doing a lot of different exciting activities, but I was so glad to see you all today. Thank you all.
All right, Andrew, we will see you soon. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Good luck with everything.
Bye. Thank you. Bye,
Bye.
Caitlin. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Celia, Raphael, yeah, you're saying it could be a hybrid tour. We'll talk to Andrew about that and see if that could work. Again, highly experimental. He's jumping in there and trying this out for us. So we'll definitely talk to him. But thank you, everyone who joined us. Thank you for your patience too. We really appreciate it. It was, you know, interesting day in the beginning, but we got it together. Right now, I'm actually going to be part of a Hispanic literature and film series. It's a discussion group that's going to meet every Saturday for the next 6 Saturdays. So if you're interested in that, you can actually email me and become part of that discussion series. It's $10 for members for the entire 6 discussions, $15 for non-members. And we'd love to have you join us. It's a really, it's going to be a beautiful discussion about immigrants from Mexico when they're crossing the border, looking for democracy, all the challenges that they faced and currently face, and the history there, the literature that, you know, shows all the perspectives of that from these immigrants' eyes, you know, over different periods of time. So it's going to be wonderful. I hope you can join us for that. That starts at 1 o'clock, so about 10 minutes from now. But of course, just email me. I'll get you in there as soon as we can if you're interested. Thank you again so much for being with us. I hope to see all your faces again soon on Zoom. We have lots of events this month coming up too, the next few weeks. So check those out. All right. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Caitlin. Excellent. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.